Hadrumetum was a Phoenician colony that predated Carthage and stood on the site of modern-day Sousse, Tunisia. Greek writers referred to Hadrumentum by the names delta rho omicron upsilon mu eta tau omicron sigma, delta rho upsilon mu eta sigma, and delta rho alpha mu eta tau omicron sigma. History. Antiquity. In the 9th century BC, the Phoenicians, astute Levantine maritime traders who would later be supplanted in northern Africa by the major colony Carthage, sensed the possibilities of a port city south of present-day Tunis and founded Hadrumetum on what is now the Gulf of Hamad in the Mediterranean Sea, which flourished before Carthage. Hadrumetum was one of the most important communities within the Roman territory in northern Africa because of its strategic location on the sea in the heart of the fertile Sahel region. The city allied itself with Rome during the Punic Wars, thereby escaping damage or ruin, and entered a relatively peaceful 700-year stint under Pax Romana, although Hannibal made use of it as a military base in his campaign against Scipio Africanus at the close of the Second Punic War. Many records have been found that say the Romans sent a garrison of 5,000 soldiers to protect it. They were led by General Septus Laurianus. At some point during this period, the community's name was slightly altered to become Hadrumentum. Under the Roman Empire, Hadrumetum became very prosperous. Trajan gave it the rank of a colonia. Colonia Concordia Ulpia Trajana August Frugifera Hadrumetina. A breathtaking legacy of intricate Roman mosaics survives from this era, together with many early Christian objects from the catacombs. At the end of the 3rd century it even became the capital of the newly made province of Byzacena. In the early 5th century the city was renamed Honoriopolis after the Western Emperor Honorius, and later in the 5th century it was destroyed and rebuilt by the Vandals, who renamed it Honoricopolis after the king Hunt Eric. The following century it was retaken by the Romans and renamed Justinianopolis after Eastern Emperor Justinian I. Later history. By the mid-7th century, Hadrumetum was under Eastern Roman control. During the next 200 years, Hadrumentum became the primary seaport of the Suleiman dynasty, located 60 kilometers east of the capital Kairouan, renamed Susa. The rebut, which they began building in 821 as a fortress against the Christians of Sicily, still stands, and contains what is considered to be the oldest mosque in North Africa. Nearby, the town's main mosque, also founded in the 9th century, has a similarly fortress-like appearance. In 827 the Aghlabids launched their invasion of Sicily from this port. During the 12th century Susa was briefly occupied by the Normans. In the 16th century it was conquered by Ottoman Turks. The city was bombarded by French and Venetian forces during the 18th century. Tunisia had become a French protectorate in 1881, and in the late 19th century, France added to the port's facilities, increasing the importance of Sousse, as it had become by then. Susa under French rule had 25,000 inhabitants, of whom 10,000 French and 5,000 other Europeans, mainly Italians and Maltese. It was a government center in the province of Tunis. It has a few antiquities and some curious Christian catacombs. The native portion of the town has hardly altered. It has a museum, a fort, is an important harbor, and many oil wells in the neighborhood. Ecclesiastical history. Between 255 and 551, in the former Roman province of Byzacena, there were 9 bishops of Hadrumetum who are still known. The last of these clerics was Primasius, whose works are to be found in PL. LXVIII 467. Titular see. It was nominally revived as a Roman Catholic titular bishopric of the lowest for Raphael de Figueiredo, coadjutor apostolic vicar of Malabar, succeeding as apostolic vicar of Malabar. After a long vacancy, it has had several, almost consecutive incumbents, also episcopal: Salvatore Alexandre Felix Carmel Brinket, Jacinto Gadras, auxiliary bishop of Brescia, succeeding as bishop of Brescia, later also titular archbishop of Trajanopolis in Rhodope; Jean-Marie Bercheny, Carlo Re, consular to missionaries; George Manrique Hurtado as auxiliary bishop of La Paz, later bishop of Aurora, metropolitan archbishop of above La Paz; Celestin Bezmalinovich, Dominican order; Mivos Vork, Society of Jesus; Marian Blaise Krasilovich, conventual Franciscans, auxiliary bishop emeritus of Shutesen Kamin;